that it gives us something to ask them. If you have it, this doesn't have anything to do with you want to have a yard sale in your own yard. Set up your yard sale, you're free to do that. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It has to do with setting up a yard sale on somebody else's property and you don't have permission. Like we went to up there at Food World, the guy selling the tomatoes and the vegetables and things. Well, he's really taken away from Mr. Adams over here on 111 because he has a business license, he pays his taxes and anything like this. So I go to the man setting up in Food World and I say, is your produce locally? And he said, yeah. And I said, where is it grown? And he said, Florida. And I said, well, okay. And I said, well, where do you live? And he said, we're out of Montgomery. So he's coming from Montgomery and he's selling produce from Florida. And those are the kind of things that we're trying to fix. Everybody knows that we don't have any kind of ordinances like that to make you not be able to do that. So this is a start for us. We have a lot of ordinances in our book that they're ordinances, but there are no penalties for them. So in having the ordinance, we've also attached a penalty to it if you go against the ordinance.
Chief, I've noticed that they've been selling yard sale stuff at the National Guard Armory. Have you checked on that?
The Armory has given them permission to be in the parking lot, but they're also get out on the right-of-way, so we would be able to get them off the right-of-way. If they get permission, and it's written permission in the parking lot, we don't have a problem with that. There's nothing that we could do. But they'll have to go through the Adjutant General to get the permission to sell and not just a local person here at the Armory. So therefore, that would kind of put a stop to some of that too.
The other side of the street,
The old I-10.
that area and down.
That's one of the main problems that we have there, and they're setting up in the street itself. I know the county has put a sign up there, and you go by there, and there are people that have clothes and stuff hung up on the sign that says "No loitering."
Right.
But we do not have anything in place to make them move. So we're trying to begin to get some things in place so that we have some teeth to bite them with. If they're told to move on, they'll have to move on.
Chief Dixon, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am?
The West Wetumpka Neighborhood Association has permission from the Presbyterian Church to do a yard sale in their parking lot?
Yes, ma'am. It doesn't have anything to do with that. When you have written permission, there's special events like, there'll be Christmas on the Coos, 4th of July, and we'll have things set up here. And if it's an organized thing to have a yard sale, then by all means, have it. But it's just the people that are doing this individual thing to make money, and most of them are not from here.
Is there a license that we sell for yard sales and things like that, a reoccurring?
It was,
We have in the past, sold people a permit for a yard sale on their own property. I've never sold anyone a permit to have a sale on someone else's property, unless they had that person's permission. And the people that come to me with a letter from the Armory, I give them permit slip, but there are always more people in the lot than came in.
And get the permit. This would give teeth though to enforce that permitting process, or
we were,
is that another
I
process?
think we will pretty much do away with that. As long as it's people having a yard sale in their own yard, we may have to look at it again if they start renting spaces.
It would be nice if they come back and take their signs down,
right.
once it's over.
And the reason I asked about this permitting process, I used to have an open air market. And what's to stop somebody who, say, owns the high-tech building from leasing space to these people?
That's a business, they'll need to come see me for a license.
But that may be a process that's also broken, because how do we enforce them getting that license?
They'll go by and check them and ask them if you have a license, and they have to show it to the officer.
But if that process is not a part of this ordinance or a part of those procedures, how do we?
Well, it's like iTech. They have somebody that takes care of their property, and they have all of a sudden gone and put up a sign. because they don't want them there. And most people don't want them there, and they don't know they're there because there are some absentee people there that, you know, they don't know that they're setting up on Saturdays.
Dr. Benson actually owned that building, and he called me 2 weeks before his death and had asked me to work with him to, he never called me to prohibit that from going on, because he did not want that going on.
And see, we don't have an ordinance here that tells you if you don't have written permission. A lot of these people will say, well, they said I could do it. Well, I don't have anything in writing trying to back up what I'm trying to tell you have to have.
I'm 100%. And again, there's legitimate businesses in this town, and they're getting unfairly rated on these professional yard sales.
Any other questions concerning this? Okay, then item 2, the first reading ordinance to regulate door-to-door solicitation of peddlers. You want to go with that too?
Yes, sir. This came about because over in West Wetumpka, the storm coming about, all of a sudden we have people that are going door to door telling you need a new roof. You know, and what they're doing is they were going after the poor and they were going after the elderly. And so they would call us, but they would always call us after they had already gone. So, you know, we would tell them what kind of car they in. And some of them would tell us, and we would ride up and down the street and hunt for them. Well, in the meantime, they would get you to sign a contract saying that you needed a new roof, and it was a binding contract. So whether you needed a new roof or not, now you signed a contract and you didn't know any different, so now they're coming back saying, I have a contract, I get you a new roof. And this is really to keep people from going door to door without coming and buying a permit. And I think that it's $175, $150 for the permit. And when you get that permit, she will also send us the information on the people who bought the permit. Some kind of photo ID, how many people are actually supposed to be selling. So it doesn't have anything, I mean, it's not against the YMCA, it's not against church groups, it's not against school groups, or any nonprofit organization. It's not what we're targeting. We're targeting businesses who may have a business license, but they don't have a peddler's license. So there's a difference in between there that we're trying to stop.
We'll also ask information on the car and vehicle they'll be using to go in the neighborhood. And if people see a car sitting for a long period in their neighborhood, they can call and ask, and she'll know if that's what it's there for.
And according to this ordinance, if you put a no solicitation sign, you know, like in your window or in your yard or something, they're not supposed to come to the door at all.
So if a license is sold, Leah's gonna let you know, and all the police, like the dispatcher would know, so if someone calls up immediately
Correct.
and comes in, the police would know and they could go
Correct.
folks out if they need
And the
to.
solicitor will also have something that they are required to have with them.
From the
They'll
city?
be required to have the permit with them.
Okay.
It still may not stop the unscrupulous activity though.
But now we have
It would
a way to
deter.
get them out of it.
Correct.
Any other questions on this? Thank you, Chief. Item 3, a resolution application for EECDG grant for police department, and I think we mentioned this last week about energy grant for insulation and some roof sealing. So, what was the deadline on this?
It has to be, the grant has to be done July the 1st, but if we get the resolution tonight, Leslie Albright, Regional Planning, she's the one that did the energy grant for this part. And they're already working on this, there's no match. They said that you sometimes would get some extra points if you put match in it, but it's not required. But this is the same grant that we used for this building, and once all of the grants were processed, there was some excess funds, so they opened it back up. And so that's-
Have you noticed the difference in the cooling in here? I mean, it's almost down. It's good. Any questions on this?
We need to do whatever we